Come on! Oh, what the fuck? What's going on, guys? My name is Batilio and welcome back to Project Cars 2 and round 2 of the WSRC GT5 Cup. And this time around, as you can see, we've hopped back across the pond after kicking things off last week in Sonoma, and we're back in good old Blighty for round 2 at the Brands Hatch Indy circuit. So this should be an interesting one. As always, this round will again comprise of 2 races. We'll have a 15-minute sprint race, which will, and the grid for that will be decided by a 10-minute qualifying session, and then also we will have a 32-lap feature race, which will feature mandatory pit stops, and the grid order for that one will actually be decided by championship standings. But given that I'm recording this little bit of audio after the race has happened, I think the actual championship order and how it works out is the finishing order for the first race. So yeah, that's how it sort of works. So got to have a good sprint race if you're going to have a decent starting position for the feature. But yeah, so what we're going to do now, though, however, is we're going to jump straight into it because we've got quite a bit to get through. We'll start off by taking a look at how myself and everybody else got on in qualifying for the sprint race. So, on to qualifying, and this time around, unlike our first effort at Sonoma, I was actually able to find the groove relatively quickly around here. It's obviously a track that myself and many other people are quite familiar with. It's quite a popular track as well, but yeah, finding the groove was relatively straightforward, and you know, the right setup. It only required a few tweaks from the setup I used at Sonoma actually. So this car seems to, I don't know whether the setup I have is just a really good all-around setup that'll work on numerous tracks, but I didn't have to do a whole lot in terms of you know, tweaking and messing around with setup to get this thing where I wanted it, so I could go quickly around this particular circuit. And yeah, I mean, we're doing okay as things stand at the moment. As we come through the end of Sector 2 there, we're already up by just over, or just under 2.5 tenths of a second. And as we come through the final corner and onto the start-finish straight, although it's a very curved straight, it's the most bent straight in motorsport, and down towards the line, it's going to be a time of 50.637, which at that point put me second on the grid for the sprint race. However, come the end of qualifying, myself and Matt O'Keefe had been pipped, and I'd been dropped down to third, he'd been dropped down to second because JLBW put in an absolutely stellar lap there to snag pole position, just 2.5 1/100ths of a second separating himself from Matt O'Keefe. Looking at the rest of the grid order there, so we got Tro in 4th place, one of the new guys, a very good qualifying for him, and then we got Vector in 5th. Nasty PJ, the championship leader, didn't have a great qualifying in this one, but I'm sure he'll be back and he'll do pretty good in the race. Then we've got Twisted Tyre Fitter making his first appearance of the season here, followed by Atreus. We've got Colonel Redeye, another one who is making his first appearance of the season. We've got Jumper Digital rounding out the top 10, and we've got a couple of other guys down there as well. So yeah, that was the grid order. So we're going to jump into the sprint race in a moment. Before we do, though, let's just remind ourselves what's going on in the championship after round 1 before we jump into it. So the standings look a little bit like this after round 1. So we've got Nasty PJ leading the championship by 3 points over Matt O'Keefe, and then we've got Paul in second. Sorry, we've got Paul in third with 32 points. Myself in 4th, Atreus in 5th. JLBW, despite taking I think 3 pole positions so far, 3 out of 3 pole positions, only finds himself down in 6th with 16 points, so the races haven't gone exactly according to plan for him. Then we've got Mitch in 7th, Matt Jeffrey in 8th, Jumper Digital in 9th, and Tro, who's starting 4th today, in 10th. There are a few more guys in here. It's I think a 14-car grid for this sprint race, so a lot more names will be added to this by the end of the race itself and the round. So yeah, there's the championship standings. So what we're going to do now is we are going to head down to the grid, and we're going to see how myself and everybody else gets on in the sprint race. Okay then, guys, here we go. And we're off. Jesus Christ, man. Cut across me. Well, that wasn't clean. It's not been a good start. There's a long way to go. Already there's contact between them two. Getting a bit punchy. Oh, come on! Oh, what the fuck? Well, nothing I could do there. Getting bumped, it's just... This is the problem. This is what pisses people off about online lobbies. Fucking dive bombing, and people can't think but 2 seconds in front of their own bloody face. They're not thinking long run. They're thinking, I've got to do it now or it'll never happen. And we've been dumped to the back of the grid. That's the opportunity I needed. Right, we're up into the top 10. And we've got Matt Jeffrey ahead of us. God damn it. Qualified third. Dropped a couple of positions. And then just got completely taken out because people are impatient. They're not thinking long game. Well, we're making decent progress. We were in 13th not long ago, and now we're up into 8th and closing on 7th. Hand over fist. So, I mean, we shot in qualifying. We've definitely got the pace. Nasty PJ. It was right up at the thick end at one point, but he's had an accident or a boo-boo, so we got that top 5 right in front of us. Provided we don't make mistakes. Just about finding somewhere to pass where it's not going to cause accidents. More than likely it'll be coming up to Druids. That didn't work. Oh, I really hate why the reprofiling of Graham Hill Bend. I really hate it. It was a lovely, just very fast sweeping corner, but now it's just a ball ache. I hate it. Oh, that might get him a slowdown penalty.
2 minutes to go.
Oh, he ran it a bit deep there. Give us a nice wide opening to step through. And we've got that top 5 with probably 2 laps remaining. Ooh, Colonel Red Eye in third. It's got a 3-second penalty, so if we can keep pushing this lap in, if we can get a good lap here, maybe we can get within 3 seconds and maybe jump up to 4th. We're right on the cusp as things stand. I don't know if we're going to be enough to do it. Did we get it? Did we manage to snag 4th place based on Colonel Red Eye's penalty? I don't think we have. Colonel Red Eye 4th. Ah, damn it. We were so close though. It was close. It would have been only a couple of tenths of a second, I imagine. But yeah, there we go, guys. 5th place, not what I would have wanted. Like I said, the accident that happened, it was silly. It shouldn't have happened. And, you know, what can you do, really? So, yeah, there we go. And unfortunately, we didn't get the fastest lap either. That went to Colonel Red Eye from the looks of it. So, yeah, there we go, guys. So, what we're going to do now is I'm going to hand over to the other Martino for the post-race analysis, and then we'll be jumping into the feature race. So there you have it then, guys. 5th place in the sprint race, and I mean, overall, as a drive, it was a very good drive. I felt very comfortable in the car and on track and so on, but it's just the accident that happened. It shouldn't have happened. It really shouldn't have. You know, there was so many wrong things from there. I'm not going to name names or point fingers, but we had someone coming back onto the track, which hit someone else, which hit me. And then coming down to Graham Hill Bend, it seemed there were one driver behind me at the very least, just steamed in with little regard, and that spun me around, and it spun, I think Jumper Digital was just ahead of me as well. So yeah, it has been sent to the admins for review, and what's going to happen I'm not sure at this particular point. I think by the time you see this on the Sunday, they may have come to a decision with regards to what's happening and so on and so forth, and spoken to the drivers. But yeah, overall disappointing because our pace was very good, and I think without that accident we could have definitely been challenging more strongly for a podium. But yeah, there we go. It happens sometimes, I suppose. But take a look at the rest of the finishing order, and JLBW picks up his first win of the season. So congratulations to him. He led from lights to flag there. So his first win. Very, very good. We've got Twisted Tyre Fitter in second. He missed the first round, so this is his first race of the season. And to finish second just shows you that he's definitely going to be a possible contender for the championship further down the line. Then we've got Nasty PJ in third, who was promoted from fourth as a result of Colonel Red Eye's 3-second time penalty. The aforementioned Colonel Red Eye in fourth, myself in fifth. And then we've got Vector in sixth, Atreus in seventh, Mitch in eighth place. I think he had a fairly big accident coming out of the last corner. I don't don't know who he was involved with. I just saw it out of the corner of my eyes. I passed him and his car looked pretty wrecked. So for him to fight back to finish 8th is a very good result for him. Then we've got Trout in 9th and Matt Jeffrey rounds out the top 10. One of the guys we didn't see, Matt O'Keefe, who was due to start second on the grid in the migration from the pre-race lobby to the actual race. His connection dropped and he got booted out of the lobby. So disappointing for him, but he will return for the feature race. And on the subject of the feature race, which we're going to get into in a moment, as I mentioned at the start of the video, the finishing order for this race actually decides the grid order for the start of the feature race. So JLBW will start on pole once again. We've got Twisted Tyre Fitter second, Nasty PJ third, Colonel Red Eye fourth, and myself fifth, and the rest as follows. So yeah, going to be a difficult race starting from fifth, but we'll see what we can do. If we can keep our nose clean, stay out of trouble, like I've said, I think we've got the pace to in the very least, challenge for a podium today. So yeah. So what we're going to do now is we're going to head down to the grid for the start of the feature race and see how myself and everybody else gets on. Oh, we've got a lightning start there. Twisted Tile, sorry, Colonel Red Eye jumped straight into the lead. Dude, seriously, don't do that there. So now everyone's eager to pick up positions, but too much dive bombing going on. I can already feel the front starting to go off a bit. I haven't got any tyres scheduled to be changed at my pit stop, so this might make things a little bit interesting. Well, I've eased off. Oh, are you fucking kidding me? 2 seconds. Piss off. I eased off. And what did I gain? I didn't gain anything. Oh, God. They've got to turn the fucking penalties off. Just turn them off. Because they're crap in this game. They really are. Like, if you make a mistake, then you're going to get double fisted because the penalty system is going to give you a 2-second kick up the arse. So you can see I've eased off because I had a nice little gap to twisted tyre fitted behind, and I was right up my bloody exhaust pipe. See, and that's the second straight lap I've seen Nasty PJ do. Ah, there we go, he's got to slow down. And now we're in the thick of it again. And now he's going side by side. Oh, JLBW dropped it. Don't know if he got tangled up in that back marker that's just up the road ahead from the three of us. He was very close to him at the time. Oh, Nasty PJ's run very wide. So Colonel Red Eye retakes the lead. He had it early on, but we both got time penalties. Oh, sorry, myself and Nasty PJ have time penalties. Now we got to run. Now we got to run. Which way he's going to think about sending that? Now we snagged the lead. Now we've got to escape. JLBW's in the pits. We've got to start thinking about when we're going to come in. I would say possibly within the next 2 or 3 laps maybe. Colonel Red Eye's ducked into the pits. Now the big question is how many are going for fuel and how many are going for fuel and tyres, or how many are just going for tyres. But if people are going for tyres, then they are going to have a pretty decent advantage, I'd say, because mine are going off a bit now. I've been feeling it since about lap 10. Right, we're going to come in at the end of this lap. So we've got to have a good in lap. It's just going to be a top up, splash and dash. Right then. So it's just going to be a splash and dash, as I said. A couple of extra laps of fuel. And then we're off again. We have a 2-second penalty we have to be wary of though. No tyres, thank you. Just fuel, thank you. Bye-bye. Well, Atreus takes the lead. But I don't think he's stopped yet. If he has stopped, it's a brilliant strategy because he can have a bloody big lead. Right then. So we've got a 2-second lead to Colonel Red-Eye. We're going to have to extend that because we've got a penalty. And there he goes, Atreus into the pits. This means we're going to re-inherit the lead. With about 5 laps to go. Thank you, Paul. So the lead is nearly 4 seconds now. So we're safe. We've just got to keep it on the black stuff. And also hope we don't run out of fuel because that would be embarrassing. I think we've got enough. It's roughly half a litre per lap, I think it is. And we've got 2.5 and 4 laps to go, so we should have half a tank left by the time we're finished. At least I bloody hope we do. Might just try and do a bit of lift and coast. Just to make sure. This thing chews a bit more fuel than it's predicted in the setup. It was a 32 lap race, originally had 35 laps worth of fuel in. If I'd have gone for tyres instead of fuel, then I wouldn't have been finishing this race. Penultimate lap. Whoa, okay, that was a moment. Lost a bit of time to Colonel Red-Eye. Alright, we've still got a 1.1 second advantage as we come up to start the final lap of the race. Down the hill again, up towards Druids. And down the hill again towards Graham Hill. Leads now nearly 4 seconds. Through the final corner. We started 5th. We kept our nose clean. And now we're going to come across the line to bag our first win of the season. Yes, get in. Very happy with that. Very, very happy. Somewhat makes up for the first race and the kerfuffle that happened there. But yeah, second race win with the WSRC guys and our first win of the season. So I'm very, very pleased. Very happy. It was a tough one, and it's sweltering in my room. I just bought one of those Dyson fans, and that's nice, but if I didn't have that, then I'd be sweating buckets right now. Really was. But yeah, really enjoyable race, really close racing, some overtakes as well. I took the lead for, well, I took Colonel Red Eye up into Druids for the lead, and just didn't look back really, just kept our nose clean and did what we had to. But there we go. So what we're going to do now is we're going to hand it over to the other Matinho for the post-race analysis. So there you have it then, guys. Round 2 in the books, and what can you say? Really, really happy with the feature race result. When you get through a race and you manage to keep your nose clean, you're not getting tangled and caught up in other people's accidents and mistakes, then you know, you can challenge. You can challenge for a win and a podium, and we've done that. And like I said, I'm very, very happy. It's been a long time since I've won with the guys from the WSRC. I think the last time we won was back in Portugal. For season 2, the third race of the season 2 in a thunderstorm in the Group A touring cars. So it's been quite a while. So yeah, very, very happy with the win. Looking at the rest of the finishing order though, and as we know ourselves, we took the top step of the podium there. Three and a bit of second, 3.5 second lead just over from Matt O'Keefe, who had probably the drive of the day. He came from, I believe, right from the back, considering that the grid order for the feature race was set based on where you finished in the sprint race, considering he got booted out before he even got the chance to get to the actual grid for the sprint race. To come for what I possibly believe is all the way from the back to finish second is an absolutely fantastic result. It was very close though with Colonel Red Eye, who I think ran out of fuel on the start-finish straight. Like I said in the race, these things chew through more fuel than it's predicted in the actual setup, so you're having to, if it's a 32 lap race, you're having to add, I don't know, 4 or 5 extra laps worth of fuel, so that's something to be wary of. But he still retains the podium despite that. However, I think he'll be disappointed not to have taken the second step of the podium there. Looking at the rest of the finishers though, we got Nasty PJ in 4th there. He was right up there. He had a pretty good race, but I'm not sure what happened, whether he had an issue with his pit stop or he went for tyres and fuel. We'll never know, I suppose, but still a 4th place is a very good result for him. Then we've got JLBW, who of course was leading for quite a long time, but not quite sure what happened to him. We just, as we came down Paddock Hill Bend, he was just on the right side of us, facing in the wrong direction. So I'm not sure if he got tangled in the back mark or he just got wide on the exit of Paddock Hill Bend, as we've all done before, and just drops it. But yeah, still 5th place is a fairly decent result. However, I think it'll be disappointing considering that he seemed to have it locked up. Not so much, the win was pretty much locked up, and the podium was, I think, pretty much nailed on considering his pace. Then we've got Twisted Tire Fitter in 6th, Atreus in 7th, Tro in 8th, Vector in 9th, and Paul rounds out the top 10 finishers there. So yeah, very good result for all of us. What all that does for the actual league table though. And as you can see, ourselves, we've moved up to 2nd place in the table on 61 points. However, Nasty PJ, he came into this race with a 3-point lead, and he's leaving with a 6-point lead. So he's doubled his advantage there at the top of the standings. We've got Matt O'Keefe in 3rd place there with 55 points. JLBW with 53. Atreus with 35. We've got Paul, Colonel Red Eye, Twisted Tire Fit on 29 and 26 apiece, which I think is a very good return considering they missed the first round completely. So to come away with 29 and 26 points each is, I think that they could say that's a pretty good round considering they got a podium finish in each of the races. Then we got Mitch in 9th, Tro in 10th, Vectra in 11th, Matt Jeffrey 12th, and Jumper Digital in 13th there. So not a brilliant day for him. But yeah, so Colonel Red Eye, he took the extra 2 points in the sprint race, and it was JLBW who got the extra 2 points in the feature race. Just pipped Nasty PJ to those extra 2 points there. So again, just probably not going to make up for the fact that he got into a bit of bother and fell out of the lead. But you take whatever you can get in those sort of situations. So there we go. But that's it, guys. That is the end of today's video. Next time out, we are heading to the Catalonia circuit in Spain for round 3. So a much longer circuit than this one, so that should be interesting and a lot of fun. And hopefully the rain in Spain will stay on the plane, because these things in the wet would be interesting to say the least. But we'll see what happens there. Hopefully I get back for that race. I'm due to fly back from Prague on what, 12 o'clock? So it's a 2-hour flight, and then I've got to drive back from Liverpool. So yeah, these races normally start at 9 on a Monday, so it might be a bit tough and I might be a bit jet lagged, but hopefully I'll be there for that round, and we can carry on and pick up where we left off in this one. But yeah, like I said, guys, that is the end of today's video. So thank you everybody so much for watching. If you did enjoy this, would like to see more Project Cars 2 or just general racing content from myself, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe. Also, if you'd like to get involved with the guys from the Weekly Sim Racing Championships, they run various different events over various different days. So if you're into Project Cars 2 and you want to get involved with these guys, a very good solid bunch of races, then there is a link to their Facebook group in the description. Tell them Matinho sent you. But once again, guys, thank you everybody so much for watching. Stay cool, and as always, I will catch you in the next video. Peace.